Flipping heck, I've done it again. Ah, watch the bench. Um, in my defence, this is Lowestoft Parkrun, amazing parkrun if you haven't done it. Fairly fast course, but it's depends on the wind direction. And I thought I'd started far enough forwards, but I know this park run quite well. It's not quite like last week with Cassioberry, where you get swamped and then you can't run as you want to. You can see here that most people are setting off at a fair old pace, and it's definitely not costing me any time here. And I quite like it. I don't think I go very well. If I go on the front, there's some really swift people pitch up to this park run, and I don't really want to get caught up in that because I'm definitely not one of them. So plan A for this park run. Mentally, I felt really good. I was driving there with my mate, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm really up for this. And it was almost the opposite to last week, where last week I don't think mentally I was into kind of really putting myself through too much pain. But physically I felt good. And this week I was a bit tired. I've had a high mileage week, but my brain was like into it. So I've left a few bits where I make such disturbing sounds when I run. You're going to see various people just turn to their left or their right and kind of clock me, and it's totally justified. I make an obscene amount of noise, and to make it even worse, I'm in my alpha flight. There you go. There's the first one. Little boy, what's coming on? What the hell? I'm wearing my Alpha Fly Freeze, which, if anyone's ever worn them or heard someone wearing them, they're really noisy anyway. So that combined with me just makes for a lethal combination, and it's quite offensive. So if I was anyone else, it's kind of fair play, really. So every kilometre, I'll put up my splits. I still haven't worked out how to do pace. There's loads of really good YouTubers that do it, and for the life of me, ChatGPT is not helping. ChatGPT basically rules my life. Ah, there's Red Vest Top. That guy in hydration vest, I have a feeling that at some point he becomes meaningful in this run, as does Yellow Vest in front of me as well. So we're on to the downwards bit here. I'll get back to the metrics in a second. Usually there isn't sand here, but I quite like the sand because I'm so clompy. It disguises me, so it's perfect. And now we're back on tarmac, and someone's going to look at me in a second. But B, I kind of feel like I run quite heavy, and the sand just takes the edge off the sort of ground reaction forces. So I quite like that. Got a little bit of a tailwind, but it's kind of like a cross tailwind, so it's not really helping at the moment. Sometimes you get a proper tailwind here. And sometimes, if you're lucky, the wind is coming from inland out to sea, and it's blocked off by those houses you can see up on your right. And I think you're going to be treated to a little bit of my heavy breathing. Although at kilometre one, I hope it's not too bad. In my defence, the Insta360 has an epic microphone, so I'm puffing quite hard. But yeah, hopefully it's not too bad at the moment. I think I'm feeling fairly comfortable. I managed to get a refund. I know I said I spent 50 quid on this metrics that were utter horseshit. I emailed them and it was like bizarre. I was expecting that 50 quid never to come back, and I got a refund. So really good customer services. Can't remember them. I mean, their product wasn't fit for purpose, but at the same time they gave me a refund, so it's fine. So I'm kind of stuck with this pointless speed in kilometers per hour. 15 kilometers per hour is 6:25, kind of sub 20 pace, or 4 minutes, whichever one you work in kilometers, blah, blah, blah. And I've got slope, boring. You can see the time because basically I start the camera at the same time as I start my watch. So that's whatever it is on the YouTube thing. Anyway, I think we can agree for the moment that's not my strong point. Um, and I got 6 views on my last video, so I don't think I'm disappointing too many people. There we go. There was my second look. That gentleman there justifiably was looking at me as if to say, what the fuck is happening? Like, what actually is this? Who makes that much noise running? And little chicane in here. I don't know if they've adjusted the course length. I presume they've adjusted the course length here because this is adding on at least 4 meters. Maybe I could add that to my list of excuses. Also, added to my list of excuses is the wind direction, the fact I'm not that good at running, and also I had a cold in 2007 that I'm still getting over. So here we are. I'm quite enjoying this. I am enjoying. I was very mindful that last week when I was talking, there wasn't a lot of competitive going on. And when you hear the disturbing noises, I think you're going to hear a nice comparative escalation in my noisy grunting. So initially, I imagine you'll just hear me breathing. That's kind of normal. I probably sound like that when I'm warming up, but very quickly it escalates, and then there is an epic crescendo around 4 kilometers. So just prepare yourself. I don't like trigger warnings, but I think you should be prepared for that just in case you're eating, because it's really quite disturbing. So here is the gradient. This is where slope in the top right hand corner comes in useful. I am shit on this slope. I take the tactic of just trying to half-arse it a little bit and then catching up when I get to the top. Epic effort from Yellow Vest Man, and I kind of eye him. He's hurt my pride a little bit with his athleticism on the hill, and I'm kind of thinking he looks like he's a lot better than me, so he's probably an inappropriate arch nemesis. But I'm going to try and keep faith because I feel like there's potential that I can use him at least as someone that I try and hold for as long as possible. And you can see there he's not necessarily pulling away. So we'll see, but he's run really well on that hill, and I am in no doubt that he is going to beat me. Is that the right attitude? Should I start on the front line? Should I be? I mean, when you hear me at the 4th kilometer, I think you're going to agree that I'm trying, and there's not really that much left. This is my last, this is quite emotional actually. This is my last park run as a 49-year-old. I'm weirdly excited about doing a park. Oh, I timed that really badly, didn't I? Yeah, so next week is my first as a 50-year-old, but I've got a little bit of a situation in that I've got a half marathon the next day that I really want to do well at, because it will be my first half marathon for a new club that I've joined. We're coming up for a little bit of Jason grunting. I think I leave it on for like 0.2 of a kilometer so you're not too disturbed. I don't know that you'll be able to hear me talking and the grunting as well. It might be really distracting. So I'll have to listen again, but I'm really confident that I'm not going to be bothered to do this voiceover again. Anyway, so I've got a bit of a conundrum next week in that I'm part of a research study where I'm doing Monday and Friday a VO2 max test, followed by a flat out 5K on the treadmill. So that's going to batter me. Everything else I do, I'll do quite low key. Swimming will be fairly low key. That's only twice that week. Then on the Saturday, I'm up near Leeds for work, and I was thinking I'd scope out a park run there, but I'm awful. If I'm like on tour, I don't know, something kicks in and I feel it's a bit different and new. So I'm a bit worried that I'm gonna sort of go a bit too fast and then be absolutely mullered for the half marathon the next day. But equally, fuck it, let's just see what happens. So here we go, a couple of legends here. I think this guy, I don't know if he's turning around as if to say, who is this noisy twat? He's probably not. He's probably a much nicer person. I mean, he's a very easy runner. Look at that. He's just trotting along. So many of these younger people, they just look like they're out for a Sunday jog. It's amazing. I really wish I'd been into running at that age, other than going down the park with a couple of cans of special brew with my mates. I think it's very admirable. And this guy here, just sauntering along, probably finishes, I don't know, I bet he does like a 19 or something in his nice hoodie and stuff. He doesn't look like he's putting any effort in. So it's very difficult when you're trying to pick an arch nemesis, because you don't want to be an idiot, because if you pick the wrong arch nemesis that's just out for a little tempo run and isn't really trying, and you're coming past and your soul's leaving your body through effort, yeah, you need to get the right balance. It needs to be someone that's also trying. So here is a little quadrangle. At the moment, we're into a headwind. This is where you finish. So you don't do another full lap. It started a little bit up the way, sort of half a kilometre. That you can't see where I'm pointing, can you? Brilliant. Anyway, this is where it finishes. So next time I come round here, you're supposed to do a sprint finish. I don't have a sprint finish. I'm pretty convinced that's why pace as a metric is probably not that useful in a video like this for me, because I'm fairly sure, give or take 5 seconds either way, that I've got one pace. And also, well, I suppose when the distance gets too far, then I don't. But like, wouldn't it be epic if I could just hold one pace forever? Like, I'll be like amazing at 200 miles or something, as opposed to mediocre at 5K. So here we go. And now I can see yellow vest and also red hydration vest. And I think at this point, I don't know. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because everyone looks like they're running fairly relaxed. This guy in black looks like he's out for a Sunday jog. Blue hoodie top looks like he's out for a Sunday jog. So I don't think anyone here is sort of like fading. It's nice if you see someone's fading because you can just feed on their soul as you run past them. But not really. Maybe this guy on the left, but not necessarily. And I'm not feeling great at the moment. I think you're just being treated to another bit of me breathing, so I'm really starting to feel it. I'm also starting to anticipate the slope again. So I think at this point, I've got a little bit of capacity maybe to just pick it up a little bit, not much, but a little bit. And I think maybe I have done that because I've caught this guy that's just having a little jog. He's going to be running 15 minutes, isn't he? And humiliating us all in a few years. And now I think my brain has locked onto yellow vest and red hydration vest. But they look strong. I know a yellow vest is proper strong on that slope. So if I haven't caught him by the slope, I think I'm absolutely fucked, and there's no way I'm going to catch him. And they're holding me as well. So, like, yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to maintain. I am thinking, why a 5K so mind-numbingly like painful? My brain isn't wired for 5Ks. I think you either in a 5K you have to have a level of stubbornness that perhaps I don't know what it is. Like, I can't do 5Ks. I want to blame it on the fact that when I start running too fast, I start to lose balance because my weird right leg. But I don't think it's that. I think it's just that I'm a bit of a wimp, and that in 10 miles or a half marathon, it's a very different sort of pain. Or I'm not very talented. It could be that as well. I don't know. But anyway, right, you can see here, I've definitely locked on. I imagine there's a bit of awareness because I am at this point, you're not going to hear me for another half a kilometre. I think when it gets to 4K, it's a real treat as well. But yeah, so here we go. Can I find it? Can I find anything above what I'm offering at the moment? My pulse rate, that was one of the metrics that I couldn't get. I think I got it with this rubbishy telemetrics thing that I signed up for, and I couldn't find it anywhere when I was trying to get the stats up, which seems weird because I put my GPX file up and that should have my pulse rate on, but for some reason Echo 360 thinks no one needs to know your pulse rate for an endurance event, which is weird. But it's weird actually, because last week I thought it was a bit low. It was around 150, 155. But I remember looking down today and just sort of sizing up, expecting it to be in the 160s, 170s perhaps, and it wasn't. I think the highest it got was towards the start when I was starting to feel it, and it went up to about 160, but then it came back down into the 150s again. So I think perhaps it was just that it was colder weather and maybe that keeps my pulse low. I definitely remember this summer Here we go. Give yourself a little swing here. This summer, on the hottest day of the year, seeing it when it was like 185 and thinking, perhaps I should stop. That's like not a pulse rate I recognize. And here he goes. Yellow vest is doing me. He's obliterating me on the slope again. I can't catch him. I think I'm trying to do like a weird energy sort of conservation thing. And I'm kidding myself that I'm going to be able to kick when I get to the top. So you're going to see at the moment we're on about. See, I don't think that speed works at all. It's jumping all over the place. Okay, and here's the kick. No, it's not. There's no kick. Um, so I slowly pick up pace again, grinding it out. It is really painful now. I think you're going to hear me in a little while, and it's going to be quite disturbing. I warn you. I'm having a little look around. Am I going to get red vest? I really want to, because I want it to be exciting. I want there to be an epic battle, but I strongly suspect he's better than me at running. Partly because he's got a hydration vest on, and no one wears a hydration vest purely for a 5K. So probably, he's already done like 10 miles to get to Parkrun. He's probably just banging out a mid-19 at Parkrun, and then he's going to run home to Birmingham or something. I don't know. He looks very smooth. I have no business catching this gentleman. Will I catch him? I feel like well, actually, I know, don't I? I've done it. I've almost convinced myself I don't know. Or I've got amnesia. I could have amnesia. We're going to come past. If you're ever in Lowestoft, there's some really good just on the left. It's not quite yet. There's a hotel that does a good breakfast, and then there's another cafe right near the finish that does a really good breakfast. There's also a fish and chip shop as well. But fantastic parkrun. It's the one that we always go to. This legend, look at him. He's wearing like his coat, flapping around. He's wearing a parachute. I think he gave me a well done, and I didn't mind that because he's clearly better than me. So maybe that's a lesson for when I say it to other people, because I perceived it as very encouraging. I did have my big headphones on, like Daleks have, not Daleks. What is it? The Cybermen. Yeah, those massive headphones. And I'm pretty sure he said, well done. It might have been that, or he might have sworn at me for making a noise. I don't think so. He felt like he was encouraging me. But look, he's very smooth. He's just coasting it in, isn't he? Right, I'm not going to catch this red vest, man. Am I going to? Come on, find something. At the moment, you've heard how hard I'm breathing. I will leave the breathing on when I get to 5K just for the finishing sprints, not sprint, spoiler alert. But I find it really embarrassing. I don't like people seeing me put that much effort in. I like to be at events where there's no one there and I can just do it and I'm not humiliated by what a disgusting mess I am. He's pulling away from me. Red vest is pulling away from me. Yellow vest is gone. He's had an epic finish. Yeah, he's gone. There's no chance. If I had a sprint finish, perhaps I'd have a chance. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving myself excuses. Is it psychological? Should I just, oh, his cap's gone. His cap's gone. This doesn't count. Oh, fuck. No. See, I'm going to beat him now. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. He's robbed me. No, I wouldn't have beat him anyway. He hasn't robbed me at all. I've totally robbed him. Sorry, Red Vest. I thought as well at that moment when he went back to, I thought he was a really nice guy and someone's hat had fallen off. He was going to get back to get it. Didn't realise it was his hat. But yeah, at this moment, I'm expecting him to sort of float past me. I totally would do that. But I think it's unimportant to him to prove to some old mediocre runner that he's better than him. And he definitely beat me. He definitely beat me. There's no way I was going to get him. Ah, this is nice. That's what Parkrun's all about. People out love it. Okay, so I think you're going to hear me in a little while making a unfeasibly disturbing noise. How these people don't just jump into the grass through fear, I don't know. Do I go left or right here? Go right and stride it out. I'd like to pretend that I'm not trying that hard at this point, but I really am. And a slightly disappointing 1937, sixth place. Yeah, that should have been faster.